Hi, Bailey. It's Liz. I'm back again to talk about 4A. And let's get right into it. Tonight, I want to talk to you guys about some number crunching. And tonight, it's not about dollars. I've talked a couple times about dollars now, and what I really want to talk to you guys about is the number of students that we have enrolled and the amount of space that we have, and how all of that fits together. So, one thing that I want to point out, again, if we go back to our book and we look at our con statement, there's a piece in here that says there are 691 students that the district needs to accommodate. The capacity of the high school is 800. The total building capacity is 1650. And what makes me kind of giggle, to be honest, about this portion of the con statement is that I believe it's put in here to make it seem as though we're underutilizing our buildings, that we're not utilizing our space appropriately. And the part that makes me giggle in that is, yeah, we know. It was recognized last year when they were trying to build the 4A bond, that we would be best suited by moving all of our students onto one campus and consolidating everyone to one campus. The square footage is there. So in the bond last year, what they were asking for was twice the amount of money as what they're asking for in this bond. And at that point, they were going to be tearing down portions of buildings, rebuilding portions of buildings, creating some new additional space. And our voters turned that down last year. I think a huge part of that was the cost. So I'd want to point out, I guess we are going to talk a little bit about cost. I do want to point out again that this year's ask is less than half of what last year's ask was. So the district certainly heard that that dollar amount was more than what the voters in our community were wanting to approve. So keep in mind that this year it is less than half. And in that, if we go off of this statement, we need to fit 691 students. So how are we doing that? How are we getting everyone over to the other campus? So again, if you look at the master plan, phase 1 is building a preschool on that campus. Currently, our preschool is in the Temp buildings on the Deer Creek campus, and they need a space. That space does not exist over there. So we're utilizing the bottom layer of one of our buildings and creating a preschool. That is phase 1. That's already being paid for by the district. Phase 2 is moving our middle school students out of the middle school and into a portion of the high school building. That is also being done by our district. It's also already part of the master plan. It's phase 2, and it's being paid for by the district. That move is much smoother because we already have some of our students that utilize parts of that building. And we also recognize, however, that it's important for us to have some segregation between our younger students and our older students. People are hearing the concern of having our middle school students interacting with our high school. So they're remodeling that building to ensure that some of that security is there and some of that comfort to us as parents is there as well. The third part, now this is the part that gets really expensive. That third part is getting our 325, give or take, students from our elementary building over onto the other campus. And we're going to do that by utilizing what is currently the middle school building after the middle schoolers move over into the high school. Now that building is going to take some significant renovation and remodeling. Why? Why does it take that when we already have students there? Well, if you've taken a chance to go into the middle school building, you'll see that it's built to be a middle school. You'll find hallways of lockers. Our students, our elementary school students, do not need lockers. It's something that's taking up part of that square footage that they're not going to need. Another thing that will be addressed is the number of bathrooms. Currently at the elementary school, we have enough bathrooms that every grade has their own set of bathrooms. We're able to keep kids segregated through that bathroom system so that, again, we don't have some of our older students, potentially in 5th grade, having an opportunity to interact with our youngest students, let's say in kindergarten, when they're in a closed environment away from adults, meaning a bathroom. So we would want to see more bathrooms in that area so that we'd be able to continue to have that level of security and make sure that our kids are safe. So those are a couple things that need to be addressed. A couple other things, however, is that by doing this renovation, we're able to take down the walls that cover our pipes that we can't get to right now in short periods of time, to update those and bring them into what would be expected of a building that is being utilized by our students now. We have gas issues that have come up, gas leak issues that have come up this year. Those issues have been patched. Those issues have not been fixed. So the patch was done so that we can have heat in the building, knowing that we're about to go into a really chilly winter like we have every year. So to ensure that we could turn the heat back on in that building, they did a patch to be able to ensure that that building is safe. That's not fixing the issue. The issue does need to come from taking down those walls and refitting pipes, replacing pipes. That's just one example. So by being able to get into those walls, by being able to create a space for our elementary students, we're also going to be able to ensure that that building can be used well into the future. Again, our district's not asking for you guys to, for us, all of us, to spend this money and to help pay for something that they would expect to tear down in a short amount of time. This is a long-term plan for our students in the district currently, and again for all of the families that are going to be coming, all the generations of Huskies that are going to continue to be coming through. We have a large number of people here that have been raised here and are raising their children here, and we want to continue to have that type of involvement, that type of community. So that's all that I'm going to say tonight, really, when it comes to numbers. There is enough space over there. There is enough square footage over there. The square footage needs to be made so that, or remodeled so that it's appropriate, so that we have the things that each of those different grade chunks need to be able to be successful. So again, as always, questions, comments, concerns, I would love to hear them. Please feel free to share the video. Again, let's get the word out. I think part of what happened over the last couple years was not having that information readily available. And I think that voters looked at the price tag of some of these things, and again, some of the pieces that were in con statements over the last 2 years, and didn't have really the best information to feel educated when they went to the polls. So hopefully, as awkward and potentially weird as it is to watch a video of me every night, I hope that you are, and I hope that you're sharing that information. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Good night, guys.